So jump statements, we have various jump statements in your Java. To name a few, it would be one of the famous one is break, then we have a continue and return. So these are some of the basic jump statements, that is break, continue and run. Apart from this, you also have various error handling jump statements. We will not go into that those things right now. We'll go into them once we move into the higher chapters. For now, we will try to discuss your break statement. So usually this break is used to exit a loop whenever you will be executing any loops, and if you want to come out of it, you will be using this. Like say for example, I want to bypass any expression and the remaining code, then we use a break statement. Like let us see with the help of an example here. So the class public is very clear. So if you can observe here in the for loop, please concentrate right directly in the for loop here. We have initialized I is equal to 0, and we have put the control variable I is less than 100 and I plus plus. Okay. So now this executes, this comes here, this comes here. Okay. And it will check what it will check. It will check is I equal to 10. So if I is equal to 10, it will terminate the loop and it will come out. It will terminate the loop and it will come out, and it will print loop is complete. So whenever we want such execution, friends, if you can observe here, the control variable we have given here is 100. The control variable we have given here is 100. See here, the control variable we have given is 100, but the loop is getting completed only after 10 values. Why? Because we have put a statement that if the loop value becomes 10, then you exit the group. Okay. So whenever we want such execution, we will be using our for loop. Okay. So sorry, we will be using our break statements. So this break statement could be used even in your while loops. You can see here, this is our while loop. On the other hand side, on the RHS side, we have a while loop. Okay. So inside the while loop also we have used the same syntax, we have used the same logic. We have used the same logic, if you can see, that is if I is equal to 10, then break it, then come out of the loop and print that loop is complete. So this is how it is used inside your while loops. So if you can see, we'll try to execute it. So it is nothing but break loop, the name of the program. So if you can see here, please concentrate. So when I becomes equal to 10, you can see it is printing I is equal to 9. It will print the up to values of 9, and it will print that the loop is complete. Okay. So this way you can control the execution. Like say for example, you have very large values. Say you want to iterate among some 1 lakh values and you are unable to find the difference. In that case, you can vary this break statement. Like say for example, you can put that right now there are 100 values. I want to check what are the changes after 5 values. Then I will make I is equal to 5 and I will run the loop. So when it becomes 5, it will stop execution. So I can see the upper 5 executions. Now again, if I want to see the next 5, then what I will do, I will put here 10. If I want to check for the next another 5, I will put here 15. So by doing like this, we can go on checking what are the changes after every 5 values. So to cater such requirements, we will be using this break statement. Okay. So I hope the use of break statement is clear. Next, so this is another very important thing, that our break statements can be used whenever we nest our loops. They can also be used whenever we nest our loops. Okay. So if you can observe here in this program, here I have a for loop and here also I have a for loop. There are 2 for loops which are one after the other. Okay. So very important thing here is, whenever we use our break statements, it will only break the innermost loop and not the outermost loop. It will just break the innermost loop and it will come out of the execution. So if you observe here, so we'll just try to go through the program. So the class public, that is invocation of your main function. So it will check. So this is my outer loop, where the control variable here I have is I. So I is equal to 0, I less than 3 and I plus plus. So it will go on executing until where now? When I is less than 3. Now come inside this loop now. Come inside this loop. Here the control variable is j and it is running up till 100 and it is incrementing it one step. Now if you can observe very carefully here friends, if you can observe very carefully here, when the j value becomes 10, when the j value becomes 10, it will terminate this loop and it will come out. Come out of which loop? Only this loop, that is your j loop, only this loop, not the outer loop. The outer loop execution continues. Okay, so this is what he is trying to tell here. If you want, we can just go through it. That is break loop 3. Okay, so I'll just clear the command window. So try to execute this. Okay, so if you can see here friends, what is happening here, for the pass 0, that is for the first pass, you can see here, first it enters this loop and it prints pass. You can see here pass. Next it prints the value of I. The value of I is what for the first iteration? 0. A colon is there. Okay, after that it enters this loop, it will come inside j is equal to 0 and it will check whether j is equal to 10. It's not yet, so it will come here, it will print the value of j, which is nothing but 0. So this loop runs until when? This loop runs until when it reaches 9. So once it reaches 9, it will check, it will increment the value to 10 and it will check is 10 equal to 10. Okay, and it will check if it is equal to 10, what is happening then? It will break the statement. It will not print this line. See here friends, if you can observe, it has printed only up till 9. If this break was not there, it would have also printed the value of 10. So once it reaches this break statement, it will come out of this for loop and it will increment the value of I. So the value of I is what now? 1. So the pass and colon remaining the same here in this statement. Only the value of I is changing. The value of I has become what now? 1. Again it will enter this inner loop. It will print up till 9. Once it reaches 10, it will break. Once it reaches 10, it will break and it will say, this loop continues. Okay, so once it reaches 3, it will come out of the entire loop. It will come out of this entire loop and it will print the last statement, which is loops complete. You can see here it has printed the last statement, which is loops complete. Okay, so if I want more number of rows here, what I can do is I can just change the value of I. Now I put I is equal to 4. You can observe in the earlier case we had 0, 1 and 2. That is, we had 3 iterations. Now we have 4 iterations. Now if I want more values in this row, what I would change now? I would make this as some 15. I'll make this as 15 and I'll run it again. Okay, now you can see, so earlier pass we had only 9 values, that is 10 values. Now we have 15 values. So in this way we can go on changing our values. Okay, so break comes very handy friends. Now there are some things which you need to remember, which are very important when you use your break statements. So one very important thing is, we may encounter more number of break statements inside a loop statement. That is, there is a possibility that we may get more number of break statements inside only one loop. Now usually what happens is, when we have more number of break statements, we will destructure our code, which is not acceptable, which is not good. So we try to avoid it. Okay. Next, the next very important thing is, breaks are used both in switch statements as well as in your loops. Remember friends, I hope you remember the switch statement class. So it is used both in switch as well as loops. Now whenever a break is there that will terminate the switch statement, it will terminate only the switch statement but not the loop. So remember, if you are using a break inside a switch, it will terminate only the switch and not the loop. So this is very important point to be remembered. Okay. So this was regarding your break statements. Next we have is a continue statement. See, one other major use of your break statement is it can also be used as a go-to statement. It can be also be used as a go-to statement. We don't have a go-to statement in your Java, and if we want to execute a go-to statement, then we can use our break statements. Okay. Next very important thing is we have your continue statement. So continue statement is very similar to all the continue statements which is there in other programming languages. So it is usually used to force an early iteration of a loop. Say for example, I want the loop to continue. I want the loop to continue. Then you will be using it. Okay. So what you mean by I want the loop to continue? So it means that you will be running the loop but stopping the processing the remainder of the code in its body. Okay, like say for example, if I use it here, if I use a continue here, it means that it will run the loop but it will not execute the remaining part of the particular iteration. I mean to say, like say for example, please concentrate this program. So what it will do is basically it will skip this line. It will skip this line whenever your I mod 2 will be equal to 0. That's all. Remember this thing. Whenever your I mod 2 will be equal to 0, it will skip this line and it will continue with the next iteration. It will go back to the next iteration. Okay. So let us try to debug this program for more clarity. So the name of the class, the invoking of the main function. Here you have a for loop now. So the first for loop, this for loop, we have only one for loop. It is starting from 0. It will go up till 10. Okay. First thing, it will print the value of I, right? So next what it will do? It will do I mod 2. So what is I mod 2? Initially it is 0 mod 2. Okay. So if it is 0 mod 2, what will be getting? The value will be getting is 0. The value will be getting is 0. And what is happening here? Is 0 equal to 0? True. True. So if this is true, continue. Continue means what? Here we are printing the next line. Print ln. Ln tells us that it will be printed in the next line. So it will skip this and it will skip this means what? It will not execute this line and it will go for the next iteration. Sorry, not here. Not here. It will go for the next iteration, which is from here to here. Okay. Now what will happen with the I now? I is incremented. I value is what now? It is 1. I value is 1. Okay. So it will check, it will print the value of I, which is 1. Here it has printed the value of I. So this line, it has printed the value of I, which is 1. So 1 mod 2 is equal to 0. No, this condition failed. Now what it will do? It will print the next line. So we had our execution here in this line. Now the execution is passed to next line, which is the second line. Okay. Now let us see what will happen. Now let us see what will happen. Yeah. So the value of I is not now, it is 1. Now it will be incremented. The value of I will be incremented to 2. So this 2 where it will print? It will print here. It will print here. Why? Because we have already printed a new line. Okay. Now it will check 2 mod 2. It will check 2 mod 2. So 2 mod 2, the value is 0. Now what would happen when the value is 0? It will execute this continue statement and it will skip this next line. It will skip this next line. It will move to the next execution. Now the value of I was 2. I was 2. It is not 2 now. It is now incremented. It is now incremented. So the value of I is now 3. So it will print the value 3. It will print the value 3. That is this execution, this line execution. Next, it will do 3 mod 2. It will do 3 mod 2. So 3 mod 2. Now 3 mod 2 is equal to 0? No, 3 mod 2 is not equal to 0. So therefore, what will happen? If 3 mod 2 is not equal to 0, this line will be executed. This line will be executed. Thereby, our execution will pass to the next line here. It will pass to the next line. So this is how it goes on executing, friends. I hope the continue statement is clear. We'll try to see it in the usual code. So yeah, so this is what we were debugging. See here, first it will print 0 1, first it will print 0 1, next it will print 2 3, next it will print 2 3, and this execution goes on 4 5 6 7 and 8 9. Okay, so why this is happening? This is happening only because of this continue. See how handy is your continue. We can print our values either in the row wise or in the column wise, using our continue. We can control the whole loop execution. Okay, so this is regarding your continue. So the same continue can be used with labels. So very important, friends, this label is very important. Please concentrate on this program now. See, labels are useful whenever we have two for loops. If you can observe here, this is my first for loop and this is my second for loop. Okay, now continue, usually we should tell the continue that whether it has to continue the inner for loop or it has to continue the outer for loop. So if you can observe this program, we have told that continue, the label here is what now? Outer. And this label has been given to where now? The outer loop. So that means what would happen now? This continue is applicable only to the outer for loop. Okay, so here in this example, it will terminate the loop counting j. It will terminate the loop counting j and continues with the next iteration of the loop counting I. So it will terminate this j, this loop, and it will continue with the iteration of the outer loop, which is I. See here, friends, very important line which I am telling right now. It will terminate this j loop and it will continue with the iteration of the outer loop. Okay, so using this continue label, we can print our values in the form of the triangle. So let's see, very interesting output we will get. So see here, friends, we have printed our values in the form of a triangle. Okay, so when is this continue occurring? When is this continue occurring? It will be based on one of the conditions. So seeing that condition, whenever there is any, say for example j is greater than 1, then it will continue and it will terminate this inner loop, that is this j loop it will terminate. Okay, this j loop it will terminate and it will execute only the outer loop, which is nothing but your I loop. Okay, so this is regarding your continue with a label. The only small thing you remember, don't worry much here, that label can be used whenever we have multiple for loops like this, and using this label we can tell where the continue is applicable, to which loop, either to the inner loop or to the outer loop. Okay, either to the outer loop or to the inner loop. Next we have return statements. So return is very useful. Usually this return is used with your functions, or the functions here in Java are called as methods. So it is usually used to return from a method, that is come out of a method which is nothing but a function, and transfer the execution to the main program. That is what we have studied and we have been studying. So you can see here, it causes the program control to transfer back to the caller of the method. So for now, just remember this line, that this return immediately terminates the method in which it is executed, and it will run back, it will be given back to the main program. Say for example, I have a function, inside this function you have a return. Okay, you have a return. So once this return executes, it will be, the execution will be moving to the main function. The execution will be moving to the main function. Here functions, we don't call functions as functions, we call them as methods. Okay, I use the word functions so that you can understand. So a method is there, when you encounter a return, the execution will be moved to the main function. Okay, so the same thing happening here, we are demonstrating the return. So whenever there is a true, the initial value of boolean we are taken as true. So if true, then it will return to the caller. The return to the caller is nothing but, here the caller is main function. That's all. So the more in detail working of this return we will see in the chapter number 6, wherein we will try to look after all the various things. Okay, so this is your return friends. This is all your jump statements.